this so that it will be available starting Saturday morning to view on michaels.com. So again, welcome to the people that are coming in now. Thanks for being patient in the waiting room. We have roughly 500 very eager and happy people to be with us tonight through all sorts of areas of the country. So great. So on behalf of Michaels, I would like to say how honored we are to have Karen Baxter, Miss Creative CEO, with us. So before I turn it over to her, I just again wanted to say thank you. And it looks like, Karen, that everyone is ready to learn more about making sure that they have the right mindset to run their business. So I'll turn it over to you.
Woo! I cannot. Let me turn the camera on. Where's the button? Here I am, y'all. Listen, I am. Y'all all know me, and the ones that don't, you'll learn me very quickly. I'm a big-hearted individual, and I'm emotional, okay? Because I'm a creative, and I'm sensitive, okay? But to see these numbers coming in here and that you guys are choosing to spend time with me. I have a little music going on because whenever I do my lives, I always have some music in the background. But I want to turn it down so I can pay closer attention because I'm known to break out and dance a little bit during a live, but I'm going to try to be good this time. But I am so emotional right now that you guys are here. I appreciate it. I thank all of the people that have been with me on this journey. Even Michaels, especially, has been with me on this journey, even when they didn't know it. Because plenty of days, I walked and roamed the aisles of Michael, buying stuff. I need to own stock. Y'all all probably need to own stock if you're anything like me. And I would have never thought that I would be here. I just wouldn't have at that time in my life. And that's about mindset. And that's what we're here to talk about today. I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'll tell you about my story. But we're here about being a maker and how our mindset affects our money, okay? Being a creative is very different. Learning how to make money as a creative is very different than buying products wholesale and selling them retail. It's a different thing. So like I tell everybody, I can tell you all day long about the particulars, about branding, about marketing. I could tell you all about how to price your product, platforms to sell on, SEO strategies, algorithms, but it won't matter at all until you get that mind right. You understand? The mind. That's where it all starts, okay? So what I'm going to do is make sure, guys, before I get started, I'm gonna give you a minute, okay? So I don't want y'all to say, she didn't tell me about this later on. I want you guys to go over to my website, which is mscreativeceo.com. And I want you to download your Maker's Mindset and Money Workbook, okay? This is like a little notepad for you today. This is a letter from me to you, some questions that I want you to think about on your journey this time, and some notes, okay, for you to take. And you can keep this so you can refer back to it later, okay? It's also great because this will be recorded and up on the Michaels website. So you need to, if you need to replay it or watch it or whatever, you will be able to use your little handy dandy notepad and write the stuff down, okay? So go and grab that. It is now 8:08 my time, 7:08 Central Time, which is Michael's time, all right? I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes to go grab it and download it, and then we're gonna get started. And y'all better be ready because a lot of people on here, they already know what you did. You're dealing with. A lot of folks already know, but in case you don't, be ready because we're gonna dig deep. We're gonna dig deep. We only have a short amount of time, but in that amount of time, we're gonna have a mind shift. Okay. And you probably will ask, what does any of this have to do with creating or crafting? Well, it has everything to do with it if you're trying to make money from your crafting. It has everything to do with it. So trust me, I'm not going to lead you wrong. Trust me. Okay. So it is now 8:09. I'm going to turn off my camera for just 1 second. I'm going to give you a minute to go and grab it, and I'm going to be back, and you better be ready. All right. Give me a second. Listen to a little music in the interval.
And if you're just joining us, Ms. Baxter is giving everyone a few moments to go to her website, which you see pictured on the page now, to go and grab the download of your workbook. So if you're just joining us, this is a great time to go and do that. She'll be back with us in just a few moments.
If I may say something, if for all of you who do not know Miss Karen, you guys are in for a very special treat. This young lady speaks from her heart. She's authentic. She's knowledgeable. By the time you finish this evening, you will want to go make a plan. I promise you. You're going to have a plan. You're going to think about your mindset and have a plan. So get ready. Oh, and also I see that some hands are raised. She will have a Q&A at the end of this talk. So.
Thank you, Janine. Y'all, that was my bestie. I didn't pay her to say that either. I didn't pay her to say that. Okay, I got to take off my, I got an iPhone watch, right? I got to take it off because I feel like my arm is going to vibrate off my body because y'all are going to grab that download. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's get started. All these wonderful notes and messages in the chat. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. I can't answer each and one of them, but I see them. I acknowledge it and I appreciate it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about today is your mindset and why it matters in crafting. What I tell my team and I tell a lot of people all the time is that crafting is heart and soul work. It comes from your heart and within your soul. It is something that you have thought up in your brain. You've seen it, you've formulated it in your mind, and it comes out through the tips of your fingers, okay? It is a very personal situation. So you cannot go into it because see, you're not attached to a purse or a handbag or a car or whatever it is you're trying to sell. You are not attached to that. You didn't create it. You didn't put your personality in it and your vibe and your energy. You didn't do any of that. It's just something that you saw on the shelf. Oh, it might sell, it might not. Let me buy it and see if you do it. It sells. If it doesn't, you don't take it personal. You didn't make it, right? Different with crafting. When you are crafting, it is you and you take it personal. You know that whole saying, like I just said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff, right? So when you are going into the craft world, you have to shift your mindset from being a crafter or a hobbyist and go into it as a business. That is why my tagline, if you got your notes, I need you to write this down. I'm going to teach you how to take your mindset in your business from the back room into the boardroom so you can take your business to the bank. Okay? Say it with me or type it with me. Backroom, boardroom, business, bank. Okay? See, what you have to do is shift the way you used to think as a crafter, doing this as a hobby, to how people think in the business world. And you have to apply business principles to your crafting business if you want to really make it successful. Otherwise, you will just be spinning your wheels in the back room, wondering why your stuff is not selling, being sensitive because your friends and family are not supporting you, reducing your prices because you're so desperate for a sale, and eventually just quitting because you feel like it's not worth anything, okay? But when you understand how your mind works and how it is important, very good, backroom, boardroom, business bank, how important that mind shift is, and when you make the shift, you will see avenues open up to you that you never saw before. You will see things that make so much sense that you were confused about before. And this whole journey into the crafting business will be a whole lot simpler on a certain level. Don't get me wrong. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, okay? You have to be ready for it because you're going to incur all kinds of obstacles, but you got to be ready for it. But if you are and you're willing to go through it, trust me, it will be worth it, okay? So, heart and soul work. You're emotional about your stuff. But why are you emotional about your stuff? Because I'm going to urge you to dig deep now. And these are rhetorical questions. What is it in you that makes you feel like when scared to put it out there? A lot of times we're afraid to put our stuff out there. You know why? Because it's personal. And if people reject it, you will feel like they are rejecting you. And that's understandable because you put your time and your energy into it. So if you put it on the website, or not even the website, most of us new crafters, we start out on Instagram or on Facebook, or you put it on your personal pages. And then when your family or your friends or your followers or whatever don't give you 1,000 likes, they don't even say a peep. They may say one word. Oh, that's cute. You get a little sensitive, like, well, what's wrong with my stuff? And then you start to take it personally because it's my stuff. It's not just something random. And then that can be discouraging. Because a lot of times, because of that sensitivity, you are attaching your emotions and your self-worth to what other people perceive your art as. What you have to understand is art. Somehow I got muted by accident. I apologize. But somehow what happens is, and I lost my thought. Once we are not accepted by our people, our tribe, we tend to start looking and second guessing ourselves. And that creates a downward spiral. So what you have to do is start to work on yourself, get your mindset together. Understand that everybody is not your customer, especially your friends and your family. And because they're friends and family, you don't look at them as a stranger. You have certain expectations on your friends and family that you don't have on people that you don't know. It would bother you if other people did not, probably buy from you, but it won't affect you as much if your friends and family don't buy from you. So that's why you have to shift your mindset and understand, listen, I am worth it, regardless if my friends and family don't buy from me or not. You have to understand your own worth, and that requires you digging deep. Because when you are out there on the open market, you are subject to things that you're not subject to when you're just a hobbyist. You are looked at in a different light. You're a business, and businesses have expectations. You have to mentally be ready for that. I hope that's making sense to you. You also have to be ready because once your mindset is in business mode, you will soon learn to trust your worth and trust what you're saying and what you think. Because right now, some people are in a situation where their self-worth, therefore their worth of their item, is dictated by what other people say. And I understand that because I was like that too. If someone, I remember very vividly, like I would make something and I would have to ask my friends what they thought this was worth. You know what I'm talking about. You ask your friends, well, what would you pay for this? Like, how much would you buy this for? Okay. Because I didn't know. I wasn't trusting myself because I wasn't confident in my own skill. Okay. So I'll make it and then I'll send it to my friend or I'll show it. Hey, how much would you buy for this? And then I would base my worth on whatever she or he would say. And then if they said, well, I will only pay $5 for it, and I'm thinking you ought to be paying 50, then I'm like second guessing, like, well, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was, right? But that's a part of that mindset shift. You have to be willing to know how good you really are. See, here's the thing. You're a crafter and everybody else is not, because you know how to do stuff other people don't know how to do. And that's why they will come to you. What is your secret sauce? If you're looking in the maker's handbook I gave you, first of all, I want you to ask yourself, what's your why? Like, why are you even doing this? Why do you want to, is it just to make money? Is it because you want a side hustle? What's your purpose? Because otherwise you'll be putting a whole lot of effort into something that's not going to stick long because you don't really have a foundation. You don't really have a purpose. Every really thriving business has a mission statement and they have a purpose. That's a business way to think. I need you to get out of the back room and into the boardroom. In the boardroom, they're writing down what the mission statement is. So I need you to write down your mission statement. What is your why? Why are you doing this? Okay, is it for someone else or is it for you? It's to pay bills. What is a purpose? Not the result of the action, but the reason behind the reason behind you're doing it. Then I ask you, do you feel intimidated to share your new business? And if so, why? And be honest with yourself. Nobody else is going to see this but you. Why are you intimidated? Why do you feel like nobody is going to buy your stuff? Why? If you have those issues and those problems, I need you to deal with it so that doesn't come out in your craft. Because remember, I told you it's heart and soul. So whatever is in you, it will come out of you and it will show in the vibe and the feeling and the energy of your craft. And then when you do that, it will show in the vibe and the energy of how you promote it. If you are insecure with yourself and insecure with your own problem, can you please tell me why I need to buy it? Now, for those of you that don't know me and new, there's this thing I do called blink, blink. Like I'm really trying to get you to think like blink, blink. So be used to that. It's going to come. Okay. So again, if you don't feel good about yourself and your stuff, why do I need to give you my money? Blink, blink. Why? So I need for you to get past your stuff. Now, this is too short of a event tonight, a meeting tonight for us to really dig deep into that because I could go there with you. But I'm giving you those high points that I really want you to write down and I want you to say it, be real about it. Like, if they don't buy this, I'm going to feel bad. If they don't support me, it's going to make me feel worthless. Whatever it is, I need you to just write it out because you know what? When you write stuff out and you get it out of your system, it actually loses power. Did you know that? When you write stuff down and get it out of you, it actually loses power over you. And it helps you to think. And then you know how sometimes you'll be talking and you hear yourself talk and you realize that that doesn't make any sense at all. And you answer your own questions. That's what happens when you write. So that's why I want you to start here so you can take the next week to cleanse that. So when we come back, same time, same place next week, we can talk about how now you're ready mentally to get to the business. Okay, so let's go back. The next thing is, what is your secret sauce? Okay, why do people want to buy from you? What is it that you have that nobody else has? What is that? Because see, what you fail to realize, what comes easy for you is hard for someone else. What comes easy for you is hard for someone else. That was a hard pill for me to swallow, because it took me a long time to say, nobody gonna want to hear what I have to say, because everything I'm telling you, everybody already knows that. Because this kind of stuff comes easy to me, I thought I couldn't price myself right. I couldn't, even with my crafting. And I just realized I really didn't introduce myself. We'll go back to that. But even with my crafting, I wasn't pricing myself right because I didn't understand that my knowledge was worth something. I didn't understand that I was worth something. See, when you realize how good you are and you own your greatness. See, owning your greatness, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes because of our life experiences, society, whatever it is, sometimes it teaches us to play down who we are and what we are, our skills, our abilities. You know, shh, don't talk about your good stuff too much. Nobody wants to hear that. Shh, don't brag. That type thing. And so because we've been conditioned to do that, now that you're trying to start a business, especially with items that you created, all of those thought processes are rolling around in your head and saying, oh, you can't do this. Oh, nobody wants to hear that. Shh, don't promote yourself. I hear that all the time. It's so hard for me to promote myself. I feel like I'm being pushy. I feel like I'm pushing myself on people. It's so hard for me to sell myself. I don't like sales. I don't like pushy people. So when you keep saying that, guess what? It's so hard for you to say, hey, I make whatever it is. It's so very hard for you to say that. But it's because of the conditioning. You have to be willing to break the cycle. You have to be willing to fight yourself, because your innate, what automatically comes to you is to push down your greatness. You have to be willing to break out of that and break through that. So it's not being brag, it's not being cocky, it's being confident in your abilities and the fact that you know something and you know how to create something. Listen, do y'all understand how amazing it is that you are able to create? Everybody does not have that ability. Everybody can't just see something in their mind's eye, think of it, and then let it release into the world through their fingertips. Everybody does not have that. Do you understand that's a gift? Do you understand that's a gift? So when people are coming to you and saying, I want to buy, they're paying you not only for the product, but for your gift. But you have to accept that it is a gift and you are somewhat of an anomaly. Now, everybody can pick up some paper and some glue and some glitter and put it together. That's crafting. But when I'm saying being a creator, when you are sewing and designing and making stuff that people want to actually buy, that's a whole different level, sweetie and gentlemen. That's a whole different level. And I need you to understand that and accept that. Because once you understand that, now you are going to start commanding your worth. Now, when I teach you about pricing, when I teach you about marketing, when I develop you into the businesswoman or man that you need to be, guess what? You're not going to have a problem, because you understand, okay, I could do that because I know I'm worthy of that. That price right there, once you tell me how to break it down and I say, oh, this is actually the price. I've been selling it for $10, but I really should be selling it for $50. You're not going to have a problem because you know your worth. Okay. If I told some of you right now that mask, if you're my mask makers out there, the mask that you're selling for $5, you need to be just charging $20, y'all would be like, no, y'all not ready for that. That's why I need you to get your mind together so you can be ready for what I'm going to bring these next couple of weeks. So going back to the workbook, what is your secret sauce? What is it that you can do that nobody else does? Because remember, you can't be me. You can't be him. You can't be her. You can't be them. All you can do is be you. So I'm going to tell you right now, you're wasting your time looking at everyone else trying to do what they do. Now, let me explain that. These other people do t-shirts. You want to do t-shirts. Nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is, you can't do t-shirts the way I do t-shirts. Even if we're using the same t-shirt, the same vinyl, the same heat press, the same cutting machine, the same everything, your shirt is going to be different from mine. Why? Because you're not me. That's why. You're not me. Okay? You have your own flavor. You have your own way of doing things. You have your own energy. You have your own vibe. And that, my dear, is your secret sauce. Okay? So you can be inspired. I want you guys to start using words differently. Don't say, I want to be like somebody. You can say, I'm inspired by that person, because when you're inspired by that person, they make you want to be a better you, not a better them. They make you want to be a better you. So I need you to be inspired by people that you see, not try to be the people that you see. Mind shift. And once you can do that, now you are on your own path. You're not on their path trying to rush. You know, y'all know about interstates and highways, and you know how you have the main interstate, and then you have the surface street. What is that? I can't remember. What's the name of it? The little side that's running right along the highway. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I forgot the name of it. There's a term for it. But that little side street, you're on the side street. You're on my highway, on my side street. You can't be on my highway. I'm on my highway. You on that street. You want to be on your own interstate. You want to be running as hard as you can run, not as hard as I can run. Okay? And there's enough streets out here for everybody. Okay? So I want you to mind shift that, because what you say to yourself, when you keep saying to yourself, I want to be like someone else, your mind is saying, oh, you don't want to be like you. You want to be like them. So let me do everything I can. Because see, I talked about this yesterday in another meeting. Your mind is a tricky thing. Okay, it's a very tricky thing. You have a subconscious and a conscious mind. And your subconscious mind doesn't know right, wrong, good or bad, only what you tell it consistently over time. So if you consistently over time tell your mind that the sky is green, your mind is going to believe the sky is green. That's just what's going to happen. It doesn't know right, wrong, good or bad. And guess what it'll do? It'll make you make decisions about your life based on the sky being green, which is not really the truth, because you've told yourself that time. It's almost like what you focus on is what get bigger. What you say to yourself all the time is what manifests. Example, when you're looking for a car, okay? When you're out and you're looking for a car and you're looking for a green and purple Honda Accord, what do you all of a sudden see everywhere? You see a green and purple Honda Accord everywhere, right? That's because you're focusing on that kind of car and that color. Those cars probably were there the whole time, but because you weren't focused on it, your mind wasn't creating opportunities for you to see it, okay? But now that you're focused on it, your brain is trying to balance what you're wanting and what is. Understand that your brain is always trying to balance your inside with your outside. So it makes your brain notice the things that you keep saying you want. So if you keep saying, I don't want to be fat, what do you keep saying? Fat. So guess what you are? Fat, or possibly. You keep making decisions based on that. So what you should say is, I want to be healthy. I want to be fit, that type thing. So guess what your brain focuses on? Helping you make choices to sustain what it is you want. So therefore, in business and in crafting, you have to say what you really want, not what you don't want, what you really want. That's what you have to talk. And this is a mind shift, because you've probably been saying the wrong thing to yourself a lot for years. And now all of a sudden you coming in here wanting to change things. Your mind is going to fight you. So you have to, just like if you're on a diet, just like if you're exercising or whatever, or you have to be on a certain healthy meal regimen. Let's say you're gluten-free. You got to be gluten-free. You got celiac disease now. So guess what you have to do? You have to read everything. You have to read. You have to make a conscious choice until it becomes second nature. And it's going to be hard. Just like when working out, you have muscle memory in your body. Your body is like, no, I don't want to work out. I like sitting on the couch. What is the problem? And it's painful. It's tiring. It wears you out. It makes you want to stop because your brain is saying, this is not what you wanted. Wait a minute now. This isn't what you wanted. You want to sit on the couch. Now all of a sudden you want me to do this. It's muscle memory, even in your brain. So you have to consciously think about changing your mindset. For success, you have to do what it takes to get rid of all of the stuff that you didn't want. You have to do what you didn't do before, because if you want change, you have to change. Blink, blink. If you want change, you have to change. Once you do it enough, it will become second nature. And once it becomes second nature, you will recognize the pitfalls. You will recognize the people and the environments that do not serve you anymore. Okay? And so that brings me to the next thing that I want you to start doing in the workbook. Speak life into your business. Write down all the positive things about yourself and about your products. Why does it work? Why are you good at it? Why does the world want it or need it? Because sometimes, they don't even know that they need whatever it is you got. They don't even know. So you need to tell me why I need it. Why do I need it? Find those pros, the pros. I didn't say anything about the cons yet. The pros. What is it about you and your product that will make people want to buy from you? And be honest with yourself, because again, we have been taught, hey, don't toot your own horn. Hey, don't talk about yourself so much. We've been taught that. This is a point where you can do that. It's necessary. That's what big businesses do. They don't sit and cower in the corner in the boardroom. They sit down and say, give me a reason. They have a whole whiteboard in the back. Why do people want this product? What do we need to do to stand out for the crowd? Look at bread. Look at the bread aisle. How many loaves of bread? How many brands of bread? So what are you going to do to stand out from the 100 loaves of bread on the bread aisle? What are you going to do? Because there's a whole lot of people that do t-shirts. There's a whole lot of people that knit. A whole lot of people that do crafting and Cricut and silhouettes and all of that. There's a whole bunch of that. Why do they need you, and what can you bring? Because people buy the person, not always the product. Y'all know that. If you don't, you need to write that down. Write it down. People buy the person. They don't always buy the product. They're buying you. Okay? Mind shift. Okay? Now, and then you have your notes page. So I hope y'all taking some good notes. All right? I need you to work on getting past your mental blocks. I need you to work on getting past the I don't want to sell. You'll get past that once you understand your worth. The only reason why you don't do that is because you feel insecure with who you are and your product, and you don't want to talk about it because you're afraid of getting turned down. You're afraid of being judged. But let me tell you, once you know your worth and you know your product's worth, you don't really care about that anymore. It doesn't bother you. Do you think Michael's really cares about the other 2 stores? Do you think they really care? They don't. Now, don't get me wrong. They do look at the numbers. It's a business decision. But they're not going to not do what they do because somebody else is doing it. They're going to figure out how to do it better. Okay? You have to do the same thing. Boardroom mentality. And that's a beautiful thing when you can combine the boardroom mentality with this craft that nobody else can do but you, even if I'm doing the same t-shirt, you did it. I didn't do it. So nobody can do a t-shirt like you do a t-shirt. Make sense? I hope this makes, somebody type in the chat, makes sense. Write it down. Okay? Now, I need you to do things. I need you to be aware of certain people in that. Thank you. Makes sense, makes sense. Thank you very much. Make sure y'all listening. Now, knowing your worth, get past your mental blocks. I need you to fortify your mind. I need you to fortify your mind. That means you need to pay attention to your environment. The people that, trust me, when you start going on to this journey, when you go on to this journey of entrepreneurship, especially crafting, because listen, here's the thing. A lot of people that don't understand crafting think, oh, that's cute. That's just a little hobby. That's so sweet. You can't really make no money with that, can you? Trust me. And that will make you feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? So I need for you to learn to categorize these people. And I also need for you to show these people grace, because they're not crafters. So they really don't understand why you get so excited about paper and want them to feel the paper, the texture on the paper. They don't care. Or why do you hoard fabric? Like, why do you buy fabric or paper? You buy 3. You buy 1 to use, 1 to keep, and 1 to play with, or 1 to sell. Okay, 1 to use for yourself, 1 to try to sell, and 1 to keep and hoard. They don't understand that. So sometimes people are not, your inner circle are not always going to get excited for you the way you want them to. They're just not. It doesn't mean that they don't support you. They just really don't know how to support you because that's not their thing. So what you have to do is get yourself into an environment where people can support that part of you. Stop trying to force these people over here to be what they're not. You're wasting your time and you're discouraging yourself. What you need to do is get out and network. Come to classes like these. We're on a live class. There's over 800, is that 600? I can't even see. People on here. Network with other people in on these classes. Michael's has a whole slew of classes. Get on there and learn something new. And reach out. There's a whole chat room right here. Reach out and say, hey, you want to be a craft buddy? You know, get in some of these groups and connect with other like-minded individuals that can encourage you. See, that's what I had to do. I have a handful, like literally a handful of friends that are really into crafting. I have a ton of friends that support me in what I do. Some of them are on here today. They don't care about crafting. They care about me. They don't care about crafting. So that doesn't mean that they don't support me though, right? So I have a tribe of women, friends, that also are as passionate about crafting as I am. I remember being in Michael's for years on lives. Some of y'all know I go into Michael's and just do a live and walk around the store and talk about stuff all day. Like, that's what I do. But they listening to me because they think like me. You can't expect to get the same support from people that don't understand what you're doing. Love them anyway and let them be, and go find your tribe. Okay? So environment is key. Watch what you listen to, whether it be on the radio, the TV. Watch who you associate with, whether it be on the radio, the TV, books you read, stuff you watch, because all of that affects your mind. Don't think that it's not affecting your subconscious, because it is. If you're listening to stuff that's not uplifting and upbuilding, how do you expect for you to come out that way? You are a product of your environment. And if your environment is constantly, what you're going to be, all the time. So I need y'all to shift. That's a shift. Trust me, the CEOs of companies, they watch their association. They watch their inner circle and the people that has their ear. They watch that because they understand that you, listen to me, write it down. Y'all ready? You got your pens? Are you ready? Y'all ready? Type in the thing that says ready. I need to see it. Ready? That's what I'm talking about. You are the total sum. Listen, you are the total sum of the 5 people that you hang around the most. Did y'all write that down? Do y'all understand that? You are the total sum of the 5 people that you hang around the most. Okay? So if you're you're hanging around people, places, and things. See, association is not just one-on-one talking to somebody. When you associate with somebody, you're listening to what they have to say. You're absorbing whatever energy they're giving out. That includes TV. They may not see you, but you see them. So whatever you're absorbing into your brain, you're associating with. Feel me? Whenever you are listening to certain music, reading certain things, guess what? You're absorbing the association. And so if your association and the people that are around you are naysayers and put downers and all of that stuff, and I don't have nothing but negative stuff to say, not necessarily to you, about life in general. Nothing is working. They're like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Something is always wrong. Guess what? You'll find yourself struggling to rise because the people that are with you are not helping you. They don't, and sometimes they really don't mean it. They really don't. They're doing what they know how to do. But now that you know better, you got to do better. Okay? So I want you to watch your association. I need you to be aware of dream killers or dream bullies. You know, some of the people, they were like, oh, that is so cute. Like I said, they really support you. But on the flip side of that, I said, do you really think that's a real job? Do you really think you can get some money with that? You know, maybe you need to get a real job. I like what you make though, man. That's gorgeous, but you might need to get a real job. That's kind of a bully. And they don't even realize that they honestly think that they're helping you. They honestly think that they're helping you. So that's what you need to pay attention to, the dream killers, and make sure that you have a tribe of people that are willing to challenge your spirit, challenge your worth, challenge you to be better, okay? I need you to find your tribe. I need you to listen and read to something empowering on a daily basis. Find something, affirmations. Use your affirmations to help you get better with whatever you're going through and dealing with, okay? That's going to help you. So that's basically it. I need for you to understand that your environment plays a lot in who you are and what you do in your business. I need you to take time to have confidence in yourself. Do the things that you need to do to build that confidence, because that is going to help you drive your business. It's also going to make you do the things, the hard stuff, the get out of your shell stuff, the push harder stuff. When you want to go to sleep stuff, it's going to help you do that, because like next week when we talk, we're going to be talking about pricing. We're going to be talking about branding and marketing, and it's going to be a real eye opener, but I need you to be able to absorb it, because when I tell you these things, you say, oh, I can see myself doing these things now because I'm worth it. Okay. So when you're in the boardroom, I need you to think like you're in the boardroom, not that you're in that back room being scared. Put on your alter ego, do whatever you need to do to get into the boardroom and be a boss at the head of the table, because this is your company. You are the CEO of your business and of your life. So I need you to act like it. Okay. Now, your turn. Your turn. I need you to tell me what you've learned tonight. And I need for you, I'm going to try to open this thing up. Tamika has her hand raised. Tamika, a selection from the choir. If I could sing, sweetie, I would, but y'all don't want to hear that. What questions do I have? Tell me, my team is out here. Y'all give me a couple of questions that I can hit. While I'm getting ready, let me go back, because some of you guys really don't know. Some of you don't know me, okay? So what I do want to do is tell you a little bit. I should have done this in the beginning, right? But I forgot. So who am I? My name is Karen Baxter, as you know. I am a boss, an entrepreneur. I have been a craftpreneur full-time for over 6 years. That means that I have supported myself full-time on crafting and making things. I pay all my bills myself with the money that I earn from crafting, okay? But it took me a minute to get here, okay? Doesn't have to take long. I'm saying my experience, okay? But I've been doing this for over 6+ years. I have been an entrepreneur for over 25 years, okay? I am a licensed real estate agent. I have sold more than $2 million in a year and got awards for selling real estate. I did very well in real estate until the crash. And I started working as an assistant to somebody who had, you know, some stuff going on, and they actually bought a franchise, a tax preparation franchise. They didn't want to run it. They just wanted to say, here, do it. Here, they just wanted the dividends from it, right? So they gave me the keys to the kingdom, if you would, and I built a thriving business for them. Well, like always and I won't say always, but a lot of times that happens when you are the employee and the employer. The equitable portion between the work and the profit don't add up. And so they started doing things that just didn't work for me. And so I went out on my own and I started my own tax business. And so I actually am the owner of a tax preparation firm. And I have been that owner for about 7 years. However, the majority of my income does not come from tax preparation. It comes from crafting. And plus tax preparation is a couple of months out the year, and that's that. So I started that business, but one year I was so because I'm right and left brain, okay? So I've got the logic, but I'm creative. And for a long time, because people made fun of me being creative, because then, you know, being creative, you're a nerd, and they made fun of you. Crafting has come out of the closet, so to speak. It is like on Front Street. It's like, hello, I'm here, either deal with me or I don't know what's wrong with you type situation now. But back then, I used to get made fun of even as a grown woman, for crafting. You know, people say, oh, why are you over there playing with construction paper and some glitter? Like, what is wrong with you? Because I was doing like scrapbooks before scrapbooks were really hot. So I kind of stopped crafting for a while. And then I was just all logic, like taxes and real estate and this, that. One year, it was a particularly, excuse the pun, taxing year. And I needed an outlet. I had been crocheting, but I really needed an outlet. And they had those pretty African print skirts that were just coming out, and I wanted one so bad. I went shopping for one and they were like $300. I was not paying $300. Well, my mother and this had to be, I don't know, maybe 2000, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, something like that, I guess, maybe longer. My mother had purchased me a sewing machine. Now, see, my mother is a master seamstress. When I was growing up, she made me cut those darn patterns out. I hated it. Now I wish I knew everything my mom knew. But she was a master seamstress. She got me a sewing machine. And where did it go? In the closet at the bottom, because I'm not sewing. But that year, I wanted that skirt. So I pulled out my sewing machine, which at this point was probably about 15 years old, but it was brand new. But it was still 15 years old. I got out and I looked at a couple of videos. I'm still friends with the person who really taught me how to make the skirt. Cause see, my mama, bless her, but she was like, you should have learned when I was trying to teach you. Y'all know how mamas are. Now, don't get me wrong. She will help me. She will help me when I need it. Like, Ma, can you please help me? She's like, you should have learned when I was trying to teach you. My mom's old school. So I figured it out. She helped me because she's going to make me do it myself now. She helped me, but I finally did it. I did it and I put it on Facebook just to say, look what I did. And guess what? Somebody eventually said, I want you to make me skirt and I'll pay you for it. I said, wait a minute, hold on. Now the business side of me was like, I can get paid to make some skirts. Now, I'm not even going to tell you how much the skirt was. The very first skirt I did, it was a struggle. Now, we're talking about the long maxi skirts. It was a struggle for me to charge her $35. It was a struggle in my soul. Shoot, the fabric cost more than $25 or $35. But I learned. It was an experience. I had to go through it. I learned. And that's when it was born. Nakai Designs, which is my creative side of my business. Nakai Designs, named after my kids, Naya and Kyle, Nakai, was born. And I've never looked back. I had to get the creative stuff out of my head. And once I did, there's no way to put all of this back in the box. It's just not going to happen. And so here I am. I roam my happy place is in the craft store. If you love me and you want to give me something, give me a gift card to Michael's. How about that? Give me a gift card to Michael's. Absolutely. So that is my story. I have been online for a while, and then I became an admin for the beautiful group, the largest online group of women of color who craft, Black Girls Craft. I'm an admin for them. Been that way for a little over a year now. And I can't say that this journey has not been fraught with ups and downs, but every single moment has been worth it. And I'm telling you, it took me a while to get my mindset right. But once I got it right, here we are. Here I am on Michaels.com telling you about the mindset that I didn't have back then, but I had it now. So understand, I'm not just talking. I'm telling you from experience what I know will work for you. Okay? So I am so glad to hear some of you. It's going so fast. It's going so fast that I can't I can't read. My team out there, can you inbox me or text me any questions that you've seen that I need to answer? Because I want to give people the opportunity to ask me whatever they want to ask me.
I sent you a question.
Aaron.
Yes.
You sent you some.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where is it? Is it in the
chat privately?
In the chat.
Thank you.
Well, I have one from a Mrs. G. She wants to know, how can she hone in on a particular craft when she can do so many things?
That's a great question, because as crafters, we gonna figure out everything. That has to do with your purpose. You have to figure out what your purpose is, and then you have to figure out which one of those crafts are going to help you with your purpose. Purpose and passion are two different things. Passion is this thing that you really love to do passionately. My passion currently, and probably for extremely long time, is painting. When I tell you I love to paint pour and resin pour, I cannot tell you how much I love it. That is a passion. But the purpose behind that is I've taken that as a vehicle to teach other women to empower themselves and help them level themselves up through making art. Because look, once you start paint pouring and you create masterpieces, guess what? Your confidence shoots through the roof. So that's what I do. But my vehicle, my purpose is to empower people to feel better about themselves so they can level up their lives. So you got to figure out what your passion and your purpose is, and figure out which one of those things are really going to help you on that path to your purpose, because that's where your longevity comes into, that you're not jumping in and out. Now, don't let people put you in a box. Don't let people make you feel that because you want to do t-shirts and skirts or baby clothes and beads, whatever, that you're all over the place. You're not. You're still in the same box. You're crafting. Now, you can't do everything all at one time. You can't. You can't be tip top and master t-shirts and beads and this and that all at one time. But what you can do is stop, learn and master this, then move to the next thing, master that, move to the next thing and master that, and add those things into your brand as you've mastered that. Because see, what we don't do is we don't half step. What we don't do is put things out there into the marketplace that are not perfect, real perfect, but are not mastered, because we're professionals, because we're in the boardroom now, right? And we don't put things out to the public unless everything is on point, because that's your brand, okay? So don't let people tell you, hey, you can't. That's a word we got to remove from our vocabulary. You can't, I can't. But what I will tell you is to strategize, because that's what you do in the boardroom. You strategize. Companies are always adding new lines. But guess what? They don't just wake up one day and throw a line on the shelf. They strategize it. They test it. They go through a process and then they do it. You have to think the same way, but you can do that. I hope that answers the question. Okay. Give me another question.
Hey, Karen, it's Chantel. They were going so fast, I didn't catch the names. I'm sorry. But one young lady wanted to know, how do you handle naysayers in your own home?
That's a question that touches me because so many people go through that. Someone very close to me in my family told me that there, you know, because I have, you know, stuff. I have a house. I have a nicely decorated house. I have a car. I've got lights and water and all of this stuff, right? And you know, I keep my hair done. So there's no way that you could possibly be supporting yourself on a needle and thread. That's what I was told. It's no way. You must be doing some other stuff, because unmentionable things, because there's no way you could be supporting yourself on a needle and thread. Well, I'm here because of a needle and thread. I'm on this screen because of a needle and thread, because that's where it all started. Sometimes that is where it hurts the most. And it hurts because of expectations. Because you expect your family, especially, or your friend. See, those titles, words are powerful. Words are powerful. So when your family, a mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, husband, wife, whoever, the expectation is there that they're going to support you no matter what, right? And you're not wrong for that. You're not wrong for that. But when they don't do the things that you expect them to do, it hits you and makes you doubt yourself. Okay. So what you have to do is, unfortunately, you can't keep going to that person in your household and expecting them to be anything different than what they are. I'm gonna run that back. Do y'all listen to me? Did y'all write that down? You can't keep going to a person expecting them to be something different than what they are. And if they've only shown you, they've already shown you where they are, you have to accept that. It will hurt. There's nothing I can do to take that away from you. It will hurt. But that's where you have to develop your self-love and get your mindset that they don't like it or they don't support you for whatever, but that their non-support has nothing to do with you. You understand that, right? What other people's choices are has nothing to do with you. That's because that's what they want to do or don't want to do. You still have value and you still have worth. So you have to let them be where they are. Let them be where they are, and then you keep going forward. And what is for you and the people who are your tribe, they will find you, they will connect with you, they will uplift you, and they will give you exactly what you need. But I have to tell you, the journey to entrepreneurship, self-love, and self-worth, and mindset shifting, a lot of times is a lonely road. I have to tell you that. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes you're by yourself on the road. You know, on those long stretches of highway when you're traveling and it's just you on the road, there's nobody on the other side coming towards you. You can't see no tail lights and you can't see no headlights behind you. There's a stretch of highway that you're just on the road by yourself. Then all of a sudden, people will catch up to you, right? Then either they're going to ride with you or they're going to pass you. That depends on you. And then sometimes you catch up to the people ahead of you. Either you're going to pass them or you're going to ride with them. You'll find your tribe, but just understand there's a stretch of road that you're just going to be by yourself, and be okay with that. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't have anything to do with your self-worth because of what they chose to do. I hope that helps.
Hey, Karen, this is Tracy. I have a question from a young lady. It just says, she asked, how do you find your tribe?
Being you. and being authentically you. When you are authentically you and you allow yourself to be seen, you go places where your tribe is. And when you do that, those people gravitate to you. My tribe that is here, I didn't know almost none of them on here that are my tribe. I didn't know them until I got into Black Girls Craft and other crafting groups. And then we gravitated to each other. And now they're here helping me on my journey as I help them on theirs. But you have to be in the places where the people that think like you are. If you don't, then you can't be sitting at home with the naysayers and wondering why I don't have a tribe. You have to put some effort into this. It's not going to, opportunity, just like tribe, just knock, knock. No, you got to go open the door. You gotta go get them. You gotta go get them. But the only way you can do that is you gotta be authentically you. And sometimes it takes a minute for you to get there, but you have to be authentically you. Make sense? Okay, what else I got? And we're getting ready to wrap it up in a minute, but we still got a little time. How do you juggle time management? I don't know how to close shop. Honey, who said that? China. That's a good question. A lot of women and men have problems balancing their time. Here's the thing I offer to you. It's a mind shift. You ready? There's no such thing as balance when it comes to crafting. There's no such thing as balance. And so what we try to do is balance by the word and definition is you have two objects that are equally weighs equally at the same time. You have a scale, it's either balance is at the same time, they are at the same place at the same time. This is not balanced. This is not balanced. This is balanced. Okay, so by definition, how in the world do you do that when you're at work and crafting at the same time? Can't do it. Something is going to go lacking, right? So what you have to do is make a decision. And see, as creatives, we don't like to be on time clocks. We don't like any of that, right? Because we're creatives. We just want to create. But what you have to do is you have to designate time because you have responsibilities. You have families, husbands, wives, children, jobs, what other obligations that you have. You have to schedule time for self too. See, the problem is you're so busy trying to do everything for everybody that when you finally get a chance to do for you, you don't ever want to stop. You don't want to stop. But and then you feel guilty because you didn't do the things that you were supposed to do because you over here playing in glitter, okay? So you have to manage your time and create a harmonious lifestyle, not a balance, because it's hard to have, you just can't have a balance. You have to have a harmonious life so that everything that you do is in harmony with what you want in your world. Make sense? Okay? So when you have done all of your stuff, the kids, the family, the job, the whatever is taken care of, now you don't have a problem. But see, also you have to make time for self. You make time for crafting and you make time for self, two different things, see? Because time for self means that you do cut it off at a certain time so you can get the proper rest. So you can go take a luxurious bath and chill out. So you can drink a glass of wine and watch your favorite television show. You need to have time. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand because to me, my time for self is my craft time, but it's really not. It's really not. Crafting is crafting time, but self-love time is when you step away from whatever you're doing just to re-energize yourself, just to love on yourself a little bit. Do that. Schedule that in, and that's going to help you even be better in your craft because you're well rested, your mind is working right, all of that kind of stuff like that. And then you become more creative when you take better care of yourself. When do you know you're ready to walk away from the 9 to 5 and take a leap of faith? You just answer your question right there. When you take the, I definitely can't answer that question for you because I'm not in your world. I don't know what your finances are, but I need for you to be a business. I need you to think on a business level. Fiscal responsibility, okay? I call myself unemployable because, you know, my life story, I don't have, and I don't mind telling you, I don't have a college degree. I don't. I went to college for a brief moment and then that was it. College is not for me, okay? But, so at my age, I can't go out and get a job and make the same money I'm making doing it at home. I can't. And then on top of that, when I go to a job, I'm like, I could be making something. I don't want to do this. I'm unemployable. But what you do have to do is you have to count the cost. You always have to count the cost. Just like a business, before they launch a new product, build a new store, do a new campaign, they have to count the cost. So look at what you're doing. Build your business. Make sure you've mastered whatever it is that you're trying to work towards. Make sure if you're in a position to do it, save a little bit. Because in the beginning, you have to do what's called priming the pump. Priming the pump. You know what that means? If you don't, if you ever looked at a well or a pump, and even when you're doing the gas pump, sometimes you got to hit the lever a couple of times before the gas comes out. Or if it's a pump, you got to pump, or like a lotion bottle, you got to pump before the lotion actually hits your hand and comes out. That's what you call priming the pump. So what you have to do is you have to do some work before you actually get paid and it starts flowing. You need to make sure that you have some money stored up, some reserves or something to pay your bills, because you really cannot be creative. It's hard to be creative when you're broke. Listen to me now. I'm talking from experience. It's hard to be creative when you're broke. And when you're broke, you become desperate. When you become desperate, people smell it on you. And when they smell it on you, it stinks and they run away. Money runs away from desperation. Trust me when I tell you. So I need you to be clear. I need you to be creative so that you can make your money. Okay? And the only way to do that is that your bases are covered. I'm just telling you from experience. So prime the pump. Build your social medias and your client base, create an email marketing system. All of that stuff we'll talk about later in other classes. But those are some of the things that you prepare yourself, build the foundation. Don't have faith. Don't get me wrong, because even once you've done all of that stuff, you have to have faith enough to leave the 9 to 5 and rely on whatever you set up. But set it up right. Set yourself up for success. Don't just jump out there. But I'm not saying I'm not saying wait till all the moon and the stars align, because that'll never happen. At some point, you'll have to make a move and get it done. Okay? No, you're not automatically enrolled. Hopefully, I was supposed to get it up today, but forgive me. I could not get it over to the Michaels team to get it up. So tomorrow at the latest, I will have the next class to them so we can get it up on the site and you guys can start registering for that. Okay. What else? This was, oh, great. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you. So I think that's it. If we don't have any more questions, we are doing really well on time. I expected to go over. I was doing really good because the people that do know me know an hour. I'm just getting warmed up at an hour. Okay. So make sure that you follow me on Instagram, Ms. Creative CEO on Instagram. Is also that on Facebook. My craft side is Nakai Designs. That's on Instagram and Facebook as well. My website is Ms. Creative CEO, mscreativeceo.com. That download will be up for a couple more days, but it will go away when the next class comes up. because then I'll create something for that class, okay? So if you haven't grabbed it, I need you to go over to misscreativeceo.com and scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see where you can click and download it for free. And then go shop at Michael's.
Karen,
Yes.
Yes.
this is Gentile.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been saying, are you going to create a support group for these classes on Facebook?
That is a good question. I actually have a group. I just haven't been as active in that group as I admittedly should be. And it's called the Creative Boss Collective. Creative Boss Collective, affectionately known as CBC. You can go and find that on Facebook. Creative Boss Collective. Go ahead and join that group. And we can get some work done in there. We're going to start getting some work done in there. How about that? Creative Boss Collective on Facebook. Okay. Any other questions, team?
So this is Debbie from Michael's. I did want to say thank you so much, Miss Karen, for being so inspirational tonight and really teaching us a lot. I know that I personally walked away with many key points that I'm going to keep in mind when I think about, going from the back room to the boardroom to the bank. So
again,
I got
girl.
those down. From the back room to the boardroom to the bank.
Hey, there you go.
I can't wait till next week. I wrote down your Facebook group because I'm going to go and join it so that I can keep up with you. But I do hope that each and every person on this call does choose to spend next Thursday night with us. One of my favorite shows just ended last Thursday night, so I've been looking for something to take its place. So this is definitely where I'll be spending my next few Thursday nights with you. So I hope everyone else will join us for Michael's Community Classroom and Miss Creative CEO Karen Baxter. So don't forget to go download her workbook, just like she said, join her Facebook group, subscribe, give her all the love. Watch her video when it launches on Saturday morning on michaels.com/classes. And she and I will work together tomorrow to get her next class up.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Mallory, he's not on here anymore. What's his?
Tom.
Tom. I know it was a 3-letter word. Tom. Yeah, I'm sorry, but let him know. Thank you so much. I appreciate Michael seriously for having me and my tribe and everybody. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to it. Backroom business. What did I say? Backroom, boardroom, business bank. Don't forget it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a great night.
Bye, guys.
Good night.